Welcome to Live and Love Life with Alena Chapman, a show that explores and shares with you how individuals who were once facing unsurmountable obstacles and setbacks have overcome them by using a certain set of tools, techniques, and attitude to help them transform their lives from ordinary into extraordinary. These same tools are shared with you here in this show so you too can lead a life that you love. And now, here's our host, Alena Chapman.
Hello, this is Alena Chapman, and today is Tuesday's Thoughts. And I just love Tuesday Thoughts because all of this will answer questions that I've been getting. Today, I get to introduce to you this book called Mystic Path to Cosmic Power. And this is by Vernon Howard. I want to read a little section to you. What do I love about Vernon Howard is that he gives a lot of stories, and my mind can just visualize so well what he's talking about and relate so well. Now, this story in particular I wanted to bring to you. This is in chapter 1. Mankind can be likened to a large party of tourists searching for a new home site. They board a train that can take them from a dry and dreary desert to a grand and lofty mountaintop. The travel guide assures them that the higher they go, the greater their capacity to see and enjoy the countryside. There are station stops all along the upward way. A tourist may get off and end his trip at any point he likes. He is perfectly free to cut himself short or to continue all the way to the top. Some get off at the first stop. They find themselves in desolate country. They settle down in secret despair. Others go on for another station or two. Then they take their leave of the train. Their location is somewhat better, but still they settle down with a vague uneasiness. A few others, the enduring ones, keep going. Somewhere along the early part of the journey, they made a fascinating discovery. Though the trip certainly had its challenges, the farther they go, the easier it becomes. Patience and persistence present sure rewards. So they eagerly press on. As they do so, they reach the peaks of happy and unworried living. With enormous relief, they find that the mountaintop was not just something announced in the travel guide. It is real. It is there. It is theirs. Now, if you really think of this story and our own lives, and when we get an idea, or we really think we want to do something different with our lives, and we get these ideas, that is the start of our journey. And so we get going on that, but then I liken that very first stop where those travelers got off so very, very fast, and then they were in deep despair. I liken that to when we give up our ideas because of the criticism we hear in our heads saying, "Oh, are you crazy? You can't do this." Or the criticism we get from neighbors that say, "Are you really thinking about this? You're not trained for this. You don't know what you're doing." Those criticisms, or the doubts and the fears, or so-called logic, which is really our ego. When that happens, we get off so fast. We forget our ideas. And then, we get regret, we get despair. We wonder why we even went that far, but we're not happy. Why? Because we stop growing. We stop going after our dreams. And then there are a few, or many actually, who will go further. They'll get past the first initial criticisms and logic, or so-called logic, and all those ideas that are going on in their heads and around them. And they'll plunge through that and they'll keep trying and trying. But then obstacles in the dreams will happen, such as maybe they make a mistake in their new business. Maybe they get rejection letters for a book they wrote, or they go to an audition to sing or act or whatever it may be, and they get rejections. Maybe they're a scientist and they just keep failing at their experiments. Whatever it is, these mistakes, these obstacles, well, that's the stop for them. And instead of learning from these mistakes, these rejections, and then learning from them and moving on, they get off the train. Now, at that time, it's not as bad because they tried. But still, that regret, that what if I really kept trying, keeps bothering them and nagging them. Plus, they'll have other people coming in and saying, see, I told you you shouldn't have tried. They're always happy to do that. But there are a few that will persist. Something inside them will say, I'm going to do this. This is my dream. I'm going to take it to the top of that mountain. I am going to do my best with it. If I fail in the end, so I fail, but I am going to get there, and nothing is going to stop me. And they ride all the way to the top. And as they keep going, yes, it gets easier and it gets easier. And the view gets more beautiful. And they're riding that train to the very top. They're achieving their dream. And when they finally get there, well, they may see how wonderful it was to attain that dream, and they might have another dream. Or they might just sit on that mountaintop and say, this is living. It's persistence. It's persistence to trudge on through all those obstacles. It's persistence that trudges through all that criticism. And persistence is a very, very big part of it, but also get a definite plan that you can act on right away. Build that desire, build that dream, and then get on the train and ride it to the top. You know, they say only about 3% of society really goes for it. That's a very small percent. I have to wonder why we can't be more persistent. Why we really want to have that regret. When my dad was sick in hospice, because he died a few years back, I remember I would sit with him for hours and hours and hours, and I would hear the people. Never, ever did I hear, man, I wish I didn't do that. I didn't hear that. But I heard so much regret. Man, I really wish I had moved to wherever. I really wish I hadn't listened to everyone and I had done what I wanted to do in the beginning with that business. I really wish I had married that person instead of who my parents told me to marry. I heard all sorts of stories like this. It was all I wish, I wish, I wish, I wish. Regret, regret. I wish. Wishes are just that. They're wishes. They blow with the wind. Desire, feeding it with a definite plan that you make act right away, and then persistence, keeping that desire right in the forefront of your mind. Nothing else will settle, and you go for it. If you don't have the specialized knowledge, then you find someone who does. Napoleon Hill wrote about Andrew Carnegie. Actually, it was Andrew Carnegie who got him to interview successful men of that time and find out what was consistent with all of them that made them go for their dreams. And that's where the book, Think and Grow Rich, came from. But Andrew Carnegie, he grew up in the steel mines as a worker, but he did not know how to do a company. So what did he do? He surrounded himself with people who did. When I decided to write a book, it was another author who was right there, who then was a mentor, brought in other authors so that I could really learn. Specialized knowledge right around me, and I learned from that. We have to just go with what our heart and our mind wants and be persistent. Sure, there are going to be times that you want to jump off that train. Do I have times? Yeah. There are moments. There are moments when I think, I just don't know, this mistake was, I can learn from it, but what about this is coming up the road? Do I really want to deal with this? I've had moments like that. But then, I don't know where it comes from. I think it just comes from my soul. I really do. And it says, no, no, no. You really do want to help millions of people live in abundance and with true joy and success. And if you give up, you won't help anyone. And most of all, you won't help yourself. And I hear that. And I think, I got to keep going. I've got to keep going because I know that that is what my desire, I know that's what my soul, I know that's why I was put on this earth. It's to help people realize their importance and to create lives that they love to live, these precious, precious lives we have. Persistence. It comes from many different forms, that voice inside you, that need, but it's all fostered with that dream. Has to start with that desire. If you're not studying every day and looking at books that feed your mind, start. I have a challenge for you. I love challenges. This challenge is find someone that you can read with. Do you know I read 2 times a day with people? I read with a friend of mine in Canada, and I read with another one. I think she's in Texas. With the one in Texas, I'm reading Persistence, which is wonderful because I've read it before, and that's from Think and Grow Rich. But every time I read it, I get something new out of it because as I grow, something new appears. And then I'm reading this passage from the Vernon Howard book I just read to you. Okay, and again, that is Mystic Path to Cosmic Power. And I'm reading with that with my friend in Canada. Why? Well, actually, I thought that when I first started reading. People wanted to read with me, and I thought, why? Because I'm a very goal-oriented person already. And I thought, I can be persistent. But number one, it helps you get with somebody who is going after their dreams also. So you've got a unity there, and you you keep tabs on each other, you support each other. Like today, I was just there was too much to do. And my friend in Canada said, just take it a step at a time. You're doing so well. Things are going to just keep growing and growing and growing. And I do the same for her. We keep each other going. And on top of that, the more you learn and the more your dream is building and building and your mind grows more and more awareness, that person is someone you can bounce ideas off of. It's like a mini mastermind. You bounce ideas, you get ideas. If you have problems with anything, or you're not really problems, but you've got choices, you can bounce it off of them. They're your support. They're your friend. They're like-minded. It's important because as you're going for your dream, you will have people that are trying to get you off that train really, really fast. And it's actually their problem because they can't see themselves doing it, that they're pushing you. But if you fall off that train or get off that train, you're in the same mess they're in. So if you have somebody that you're reading with, that helps you get through that. And then when you make mistakes, you have that person again to bounce off ideas. Man, I couldn't believe what I did today. I really blew it. I went with the wrong person and it just screwed up everything. And then you'll talk about it. You'll come up with a solution and you can plow through it. Learn from it, learn not to do that again, but what can you do to solve it? And then you have persistence. Very important. This goes for any part of our lives. I mean, if it's just so simple as, I don't know, losing weight, maybe it's just a little job change you want to do. Maybe you want to find that special person in your life. No matter what it is, it's the same concepts, awareness, tools you use to get there. The same thing. Persistence. And why does it get easier? I don't know if any of you were asking that. The first time I read this way, way back when I was just starting out on my dream, I thought, why does it get easier? You know, when Vernon Howard talks about after the second stop, when the people are getting off and they're just sort of uneasy, then they're riding up to the top of the mountain. And he says, the people are discovering that it's easier and easier. Well, it's not because you don't have new challenges, because as you grow, new things happen, new things appear. So of course you're going to have new challenges, new obstacles. So that's not what he means. I think what he means is that when you really start getting up that far, you believe in yourself. You've made it through the criticism. You've made it through the obstacles. But even more than that, you have fed this desire. You fed it with a definite plan that you acted on. You surrounded yourself with people who had knowledge. You have a partner or a support system that's guiding you through, and you're feeding it and feeding it. And I think what happens at that point is that you start believing in you. You become that desire. You actually fill the shoes of the person who is accomplishing this goal. And you believe in you. That's the biggest part. That's the difference. I really think that's what he's saying. Because once you believe in you and in your ability and in your dream, then there's no stopping you. There's no stopping you. So, as we start out this month, this year, this week, this day, start thinking, what is it that I want to accomplish? Is it big? Is it small? Is it big for me? What is it? Do I want to write a book? Anything you want. And start feeding it. Start just looking around for people who could help you learn more about what you want to do. Or maybe you know it all. Maybe what you need is a support system, somebody who's going to take you through the criticism and the mistakes, and also to help your mind grow. whatever it is, start to get all those little cards together and have that dream and think of that dream and feed that dream and let it grow and grow and grow. And as you're on that train, just know in your mind that it's going to get easier and easier as you become more and more persistent, trusting in yourself, believing in yourself, and achieving. And soon you will be one of the 3%. Make it an awesome day. Go after those dreams. It's my challenge to you. If you would like to learn more about what I do, my dream to help you always, it's alenachapmanlife.com. And there's a lot of podcasts on there. There's blogs. Help yourself. Go after your dreams and make them come true. Bye-bye now.
You've been listening to Live and Love Life with Alena Chapman. For more information on the show, its guests, or to contact Alena, please visit alenachapmanlife.com. Have an awesome day, and we remind you to live and love life.